That one photo Papoose just posted didn't just respond to Remy Ma. Fans are saying it quietly confirmed everything people have been whispering for months about him, Claressa Shields, and what really happened behind the scenes of hip-hop's most shocking breakup. Because if you've been watching this situation unfold, you already know this wasn't just another celebrity argument online. This has been years in the making, and the moment that response image surfaced, the internet instantly started connecting dots people thought would never be confirmed publicly, especially after Remy Ma dropped that explosive freestyle that seemed aimed straight at both Papoose and Claressa Shields at the exact same time their relationship drama started heating up again across social media timelines. According to All Hip Hop, Remy Ma's track WYFL appeared to directly address Papoose's claims that he helped write her music while also taking shots at his relationship with Claressa, and fans immediately noticed the timing felt way too precise to be coincidence. Almost like she was finally breaking her silence after months of tension building quietly behind the scenes, and then suddenly Papoose's response photo surfaced online and people weren't just reacting, they were analyzing every detail like detectives. What made the photo hit harder than expected wasn't even what was said publicly about it, but what it seemed to imply without needing captions, statements, or long explanations. Because when celebrities respond visually instead of verbally, fans assume there's a message underneath the surface. And in this case, that message seemed to confirm that the relationship between him and Claressa wasn't just rumor anymore. It was reality people could see unfolding in real time. And what makes this situation even more complicated is the history between Remy Ma and Papoose, because their relationship wasn't just another industry romance, it was one of hip-hop's most talked-about loyalty stories, especially after they stayed together through legal struggles, prison time, and years of public pressure before eventually marrying and building a family together after nearly 2 decades of being linked romantically, which is why when rumors first started circulating in 2024 that Papoose was connected to Claressa Shields, fans didn't want to believe it at first. According to reporting summarized by The Griot, their relationship dates back to 2004, and they even married while Remy was incarcerated before officially celebrating their union years later after her release. So when separation rumors surfaced decades later, it didn't feel like celebrity gossip. It felt like the end of a storyline fans had emotionally invested in for years. Then things escalated fast when Papoose eventually filed for divorce in 2025, and Claressa later confirmed she and him were engaged, which changed the narrative completely because suddenly what people thought were rumors started looking like a real transition from one relationship into another rather than a temporary situation or misunderstanding. And that's where the response photo started carrying so much weight online, because by the time it appeared, fans already knew the timeline was messy, they already knew accusations were flying from both directions, and they already knew Remy Ma had started speaking more openly again through music instead of interviews, which usually signals something deeper is happening behind the scenes in hip-hop culture. According to People magazine, Remy Ma even accused Claressa of spreading false stories about her during the fallout, while Claressa pushed back publicly, which shows this wasn't just relationship drama between two people anymore. It had turned into a full public triangle with overlapping narratives and competing versions of events. And then the internet noticed something else about the photo Papoose shared. It didn't just show support for his new relationship, it showed confidence, stability, and timing that suggested he wasn't backing down from the situation even after Remy's lyrical responses started trending again, which many fans interpreted as him signaling he had already moved forward emotionally and publicly. But the story gets even more layered because according to multiple entertainment reports, the conflict didn't stay private for long. It spilled directly into social media exchanges where both sides began referencing accusations about cheating, loyalty, and who actually ended the marriage first, creating a situation where nobody outside the relationship truly knows what happened, but everyone online feels like they're watching pieces of the truth drop one post at a time. The Beat 951 reported that the estranged couple clashed publicly about alleged infidelity and the delay of their divorce process, which only made the photo feel more intentional when it appeared afterward, because fans immediately assumed it was connected to those unresolved tensions rather than random timing, And if you think that's where the drama stops, it doesn't, because Claressa Shields herself has also responded publicly multiple times to rumors about the relationship timeline, especially when speculation started suggesting she entered the picture before the marriage officially ended, something she has consistently pushed back against while also defending her connection with Papoose whenever online conversations started getting louder. Rolling Out even reported she addressed rumors about holidays being spent between the estranged couple, showing just how closely people were watching every move connected to this situation and how quickly speculation could spread whenever new posts appeared. And what made the response photo feel like such a turning point wasn't just the relationship confirmation energy fans thought they saw in it. It was the fact that it arrived right as Remy Ma released music that many listeners interpreted as addressing both Papoose's ghostwriting claims and Claressa's presence in his life at the same time, which created the feeling that two narratives were happening simultaneously instead of separately. According to Hot New Hip Hop, Remy's freestyle directly rejected claims that Papoose wrote most of her lyrics, which had already been a major talking point after he said during a live stream he contributed heavily to her music catalog, and when fans connected those statements to the timing of the response photo, they started asking whether the entire situation had moved beyond personal disagreements into a full public reputation battle. And then there's another reason people keep analyzing that photo so closely. Because it appeared during a period when even other celebrities were commenting on the situation from the outside, including moments when 50 Cent referenced Claressa Shields while taking shots at Papoose online, which shows how far the conversation had spread beyond the original relationship itself. According to Hot 97, that outside commentary added another layer of attention to the situation and made every post connected to the trio feel more significant than it normally would have been. But here's what really makes the response photo feel like it exposed more than expected. It showed that regardless of what's happening lyrically, legally, or emotionally between the former couple, Papoose appears comfortable presenting his new relationship publicly, which fans interpreted as confirmation that the chapter with Remy Ma is truly closing rather than temporarily paused. And the timing matters even more when you remember that their separation played out gradually rather than suddenly, with years of rumors, responses, and social media exchanges building toward the point where each new post now feels like part of a bigger storyline instead of a random update. At the same time, Remy Ma's decision to respond through music instead of direct interviews has kept fans guessing about what she might say next, because historically in hip-hop culture, artists often save their strongest responses for songs rather than statements, and listeners immediately began wondering whether her freestyle was just the beginning of a larger response strategy rather than a single reaction. According to all hip-hop coverage of the track, listeners quickly interpreted some lyrics as aimed directly at Claressa Shields, especially lines that seemed to challenge her image and role in the situation, which added even more attention to whatever Papoose posted afterward because people assumed it couldn't be unrelated. And the fact that the response photo appeared after that lyrical moment made fans treat it almost like a silent answer instead of a coincidence. Another reason this moment feels bigger than a normal celebrity relationship update is because Remy Ma and Papoose spent years being described as one of hip-hop's strongest couples, especially during the time she served her sentence, and he publicly supported her throughout that period, which created a loyalty narrative that fans still remember today. So when Claressa Shields entered the conversation publicly, the reaction wasn't neutral. It was emotional, because people felt like they were watching the end of something they believed in. According to The Root, the backlash toward Claressa's relationship with Papoose became intense online partly because of how strongly fans identified with the original relationship story, which explains why every photo connected to the new relationship gets analyzed so closely even now. And what makes the response image especially interesting is that it arrived during a moment when the situation wasn't quiet anymore. It was active again, trending again, and being discussed again after Remy's track brought the conversation back into headlines. That's why some fans think the photo wasn't random at all, but strategic, almost like a reminder that despite everything happening lyrically and publicly, the new relationship isn't disappearing anytime soon. Others believe it simply showed confidence and closure rather than competition, which highlights how divided audiences are about what the photo actually meant. But there's one thing everyone agrees on. The timing changed how people interpreted it completely. Because when a response image appears right after a diss record trends, it never feels accidental. And now fans are watching closely to see whether Remy Ma answers again, whether Claressa responds again, or whether Papoose posts something else that adds another layer to a story that clearly isn't finished yet. So at this point, the photo didn't just respond to rumors, it intensified them, reshaped them, and maybe even confirmed the direction this entire situation is heading next. Because when public relationships shift this visibly after years of history, every single post suddenly starts looking like a message. And with new music already entering the conversation again, the real question isn't whether this story is over, it's whether the next response will come through another photo, another freestyle, or something nobody sees coming yet. So what do you think that response image actually confirmed about what's really happening between Papoose, Remy Ma, and Claressa Shields right now? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe because this situation might be far from finished.